Before I ask the question, can I please clarify that despite being on the Poverty Committee, this topic has not been discussed there? Thank you.
Honourable Member.
I would like to ask the Chief Minister who in government has been tasked with ensuring that the lives of the island's most vulnerable improve during this administration.
Chief Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. President. The simple answer, Mr. President, is everyone in this court has a role to play in improving the lives of the island's vulnerable people. An inclusive and caring society is one of the 3 strategic objectives of the programme for government. Different parts of government lead particular services. For example, health and social care for vulnerable patients or social care users, and Treasury for social security funding to those in financial need. The Council of Ministers Social Policy and Children's Committee coordinates integrated social policy supported in delivery by the Social Policy Lead Officer Group. The Children's Champion and Equality Champion are advocates for their respective areas and the vulnerable amongst our society. Together, efforts continue to be focused on delivering for the island's most in need and actions to support this.
Supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Chief Minister, for that answer. This is a very diverse range of people within the category, but they have very similar needs. Could one person effectively champion this area and bring together the aspects you identified?
Chief Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I think the honourable member has maybe answered his question or given me the answer, because it is diverse. This covers a plethora, from families struggling to make ends meet because maybe one of them has just lost their job, to having a sick child, to being an elderly person suffering with dementia with no family support on the island and help needed there. The range of services that, as I mentioned, social care with Treasury, the Department of Health and Social Care do, the Equality Champion, the Children's Champion. I think for one political member to be given responsibility for that, they would be swamped, Mr. President, and that's why I said at the start of my answer, it's for everyone to work towards improving and looking after our vulnerable people. That's surely what we all stood for, is, yes, we all want to grow the island, we want to grow the financial sector, but only so we can generate money to look after our most vulnerable in the island and take people on a journey of increased wage returns and better services. We've just seen the budget where we've increased benefits, we've maintained the mental health officers supporting the police out on the street. These are all excellent ways that we're going in the right direction. Have we reached utopia? No, Mr. President. I'm afraid we never will. But at least we can do our utmost to make it a better world for all the people of the island, and we can only do that together. One person would... There's an old phrase, Mr. President, if you fight on too many fronts, you get beaten.
Supplementary, Mr. Morehouse.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Chief Minister. In terms of what's been done so far, giving assistance to GRI has been a great move. Going forward, do you think that can actually be built on and other areas of vulnerability can be assisted?
Thank you, Mr. President. And the honourable member raises a very important point, which is very close to my heart, and I have had a number of discussions with my colleague, the Minister for Policy and Reform, Mr. Thomas, and we are working behind the scenes on ensuring that we can come up with some good news in the next this year on areas where we can help those vulnerable people on housing matters.